I had a hard time today picking the stories we were going to cover because there were like 6 of them that I wanted to cover.
Yeah.
And so you know that these last 2 that made it in here are they are absolute gems. Yes. All right. So let's start with this one. Story that came out from an outlet called the Tennessee Holler.
And shout out to them. They're a great independent outlet that I've been following for a while. And they do a lot of great work in the state of Tennessee specifically.
Okay. Well, throw the tweet up there and I'll read it for everybody. This will give everybody the gist of it. Randy, anti-gay Tennessee Lieutenant Governor Randy McNally is his name, comments on young gay males' racy Instagram pics. I like the emojis that they added there. First, Governor Bill Lee was in drag. We can talk about that in a second as well. Yeah. Now, Lieutenant Governor McNally's comments, the hypocrisy is endless. And so then they have a link to the full story. Let me give you a little zoom in on that graphic there. So you can see what many are describing as a twink. many people are saying this.
Okay.
That's this young 20-year-old man, this gay man. And this guy, by the way, he's nearly 80 years old. I think he's 79 is the exact number.
Okay.
And you can see some of his comments there. So the one on the right, Krystal, can you read it, the top one?
Yeah.
Read it for everybody.
So that comment, I believe, was under the close-up pic of this man's ass. And it says, Finn, you can turn a rainy day into rainbows and sunshine. One of them said, super look, Finn. Another one just had a heart emoji, which is, and
you have a bunch of hearts and the fire thing as well.
Yes.
So this guy likes to post suggestive pictures all the time. Now, they talked to this guy, and he said, I don't even really follow politics, but that guy's really nice to me.
Yeah, he said we've been friends for a while.
And he said, he did say, I've never talked to him. He's never slid into my, whatever DMs are, or on Instagram. Yeah. I don't know what they're called because I don't have an Instagram. But there were other things also. If you go through more of the story, there are parts where Randy says to him, like, hey, man, there's like a picture he posted the young guy, of like, he looked like he got into a fight or something. He had like scratches on his face or whatever. It just looked like something happened. And the guy says underneath, like, hey, I hope you're okay. If please call me if not, or like, let's talk if not. It was something like that. There was actually a number of instances like that where he said like, let's talk or whatever. So that he might not be telling the truth when he says, oh, we've never talked. There's some indication they may have, but it also might be that this is Randy's way of trying to get in there a little closer and not being able to.
If Randy's almost 80 years old and clearly had no understanding that like these are public and we can see what you're doing here, then it's also possible he doesn't understand that you even can slide into someone's DMs.
I don't know if he doesn't realize it's public. I don't know if he doesn't realize that.
So he just thought like...
I mean, look, his people released, like his team released a statement, and it was so funny because the gist of it was, left-wing media organizations are attacking us when our man just is sweet to his constituents and stuff, bro.
Right.
Like he's always active on social media. What's the big deal, bro? That was like the gist of it. So now the point everybody's making, rightfully so, is that the Tennessee Republican Party has actually been sort of leading the way with a lot of the anti-gay bills and anti-trans bills.
Especially anti-trans,
Yes, there's been a lot of that stuff that's been happening recently. Now, I haven't seen a detailed breakdown of this guy's record, but there actually was some indication in one of the articles. It was a Daily Mail article, to be fair, which is not the best outlet, but at least when it came to certain anti-trans bills, he argued like, hey, I'm not sure we should do this because this is going to affect business interests here. It's going to make Tennessee a state that people don't want to invest in nearly as much because people are going to view this in a negative light for us to crack down like this. There's one that involved like, trans people in sports, and there was some other anti-trans bill as well. And so it's a little bit unclear in terms of his specific record when it comes to how like anti-gay he is.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are your thoughts? I mean, do we have to make the standard point that everybody makes in these stories, which is the most obvious thing in the world?
Which is what?
Which is like, as a general rule, it's the meme I showed you last night. It's like you have like super conservative politicians. The second anybody's not looking, they're just like, cock. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. It is such, when there's like, listen, I mean, plenty of regular Republicans have, reflexive views on these issues. But when you see someone who's really going all in on their anti-gay or anti-trans stance.
Red flag.
red flag.
Yeah, you just know that they're struggling.
Well, the other piece of this that they referred to in that tweet that Tennessee Holler also revealed is that the governor, whose name I'm blanking on right now. So one of the pieces of legislation that was passed, and obviously the governor signed into law, was like this crackdown on drag shows. Oh my God, drag shows, we can't have them in public spaces, et cetera, et cetera. And then there's a picture that they dug up of him literally dressed in drag.
Right.
Which he doesn't want to, he won't respond to.
He was in high school.
Yeah.
And he was dressed like it. But he got very like offended and sort of stormed away and was like, this is ridiculous.
Exactly.
And the journalist, to his credit, was asking in a very calm way, like, but how is that not drag?
Right.
He's right. It is drag. Like, that's what it is.
Yes. But, back then, that wasn't the sexy moral panic of the day. So it was totally different. But yeah, I mean, the hypocrisy is very clear and very obvious.
So there was a story that just came out that I talked about, which is, have you ever heard of this guy, The Quartering?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, he does this this sort of right-leaning anti-social justice warrior YouTube channel.
Okay.
And he seemed like he was drinking, although I don't know that for sure. But
okay.
They read like drunk tweets, let's just say.
Okay.
And he sort of spilled the tea a little bit on a lot of these, anti-gay, anti-trans conservative commentators.
Oh, really? I didn't see any of this.
He said a lot of your like red pill heroes, I believe was the phrase he used. He said a lot of them are chasing trans people and are swallowing dick. And I think he may have listed some and then deleted that particular tweet. But there was a number of people. I think he floated Cernovich as one. There was that guy Jack Posobiec, I think he said. There was that guy Elijah Schaefer who used to work for the Blaze, and then he got released from the Blaze because even he was too extreme for Glenn Beck. I think he said something that was like anti-Mormon, and Glenn Beck's a Mormon, and so he let him go. That's another one.
Yeah.
There was a whole, of course, very famously, Nick Fuentes was caught liking, I don't know if it was furry stuff or femboy stuff or whatever. And Alex Jones, did I say Nick Fuentes?
You said Nick Fuentes.
Okay, so Alex Jones also was caught with transgender porn on his phone. He was showing he has a camera above him when he does the show for the articles. He was pulling up a link for an article, and you saw his tabs, and one of the tabs was trans porn.
Did you see the woman who was a journalist for the Daily Wire who resigned over the direction that their trans coverage has gone in?
Right, with Matt Walsh and Michael Knowles.
And she laid down, I mean, you can say okay, you were a fool for thinking that it was going to be different, but she laid out how, she thought that there was like a focus on kids and that there was going to be based on science and evidence and whatever.
We warned everybody.
And then there's this arms race, effectively, to say the most outrageous and extreme thing when it comes to trans people. And that, now it's gone way beyond just we must protect the children. And it's just an all-out assault on anyone that is trans at all.
Did you see Michael Knowles attempt desperately to backpedal from the eradicate transgenderism comment he made?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is no interpretation of that that's you're okay with trans people existing. You know what I mean?
And you obviously said that because you knew this is the view that you have cultivated in your audience that will be rewarded. And so it's just let me be the most out there in terms of what I'm saying. And, that's what's rewarded.
Well, Matt Walsh a while ago on Twitter basically said, doctors should be banned from doing any sort of trans surgery for everybody. So the whole game of it's just about the kids, bro. We just want to protect the kids. Very quickly, they made clear that's actually not the case.
Right.
Because they don't think it's real. They don't think it should be allowed. They think it's degeneracy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So and to me, I'll never understand it because Matt Walsh does this thing, and I covered it the other day, where he's this is about truth. We're fighting for truth. And it's if you actually care about truth, you have to acknowledge there are some people that are born biologically male. It's less than 1% of the population, but they're there. They're born biologically male, but they feel, I am female.
Yeah.
You can't just swat aside the feeling and act like that doesn't exist. No, it literally exists. Who would go through all that trouble if it wasn't real?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And it's not this is a phenomenon that just popped up.
Throughout history. Of course. Just in the same way gay people have existed.
Yeah.
These are the same arguments they used back then. It's degeneracy. It's not natural for, a man to be attracted to a man or a woman to be attracted to a woman. It's this has existed always, son.
And I have such a deja vu feeling because it feels like we've just gone right back to 2008, 2010 type of politics.
I know.
And not only was it that, protect the children turned into actually we think transgenderism should be banned for everyone, including, adults and everybody else, but it's also being used to then justify renewed assaults on rights of gay people as well, and bills being introduced in legislatures across the country.
Yeah, you showed one the other day.
And that coming back into mainstream of GOP politics.
Do you remember? I don't remember what state it was. I don't want to put you on the spot, but you sent me a link the other day that was like, it was one of the red states were basically trying to ban gay marriage again. And it's like, everything else aside, that's not how this works. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not even, like the Supreme Court said it is a right. Our interpretation of equal protection under the law is that it is now a right. And they're just like, we're going to ignore the Constitution and the Supreme Court and just say we're going to ban it at the state level.
Yeah, I don't remember which state it was specifically either, but yes, that was happening.
Yeah. So anyway, but ultimately, look, I'll give you a weird twist at the end of this story here.
Okay.
Okay. This might be controversial. If our boy Randy here, hilarious name by the way, Randy.
Of course.
Randy's Randy.
Perfect.
Yeah, like they said. If our boy Randy here actually didn't have an anti-gay history, then the only thing we know is that he actually tried to temper some of the extremism with the recent comments on the recent bills.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, I'll give him a pass. I'll give him a pass. The only thing that's weird is he's 20, you're damn near 80.
Well, I mean, you're part of this administration that is passing and signing into laws these extreme bills. So I'm not going to give you a pass.
He's certainly not like really fighting it in a crusading way.
He's not like I'm resigning over this assault on people's rights.
Relax. No. But every night he's like, Twink ass. He's just like, God, I don't want to know what he does in private looking at those pictures. I love how the kid is like, I like him.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was funny too. That was right. He did say something about like, I don't want him to use his power to hurt people like me. Mm-hmm. He did say something like that, but it was a very mellow response. Funny.
Yeah. But the age thing, do you view that as like, even if he had a pro record, like a pro gay record, do you view the age thing as like, even though it's legal, it's still too creepy that you just can't? You know what I'm saying? That is a big gap, bro. I'm just saying. And I'm not one to police age stuff at all. But, obviously never for minors, et cetera. But I'm saying like legal, but 20 and near 80.
I mean, it should be legal, whatever. But yeah, I'm going to raise an eyebrow.
60 years.
I'll raise an eyebrow.
60 years. I'll raise both eyebrows. How about that?
Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.